She chose my best friend. There are certain moments in life where time seems to stop, where the world around you crumbles so silently, you don't even realize you're standing in the ruins until you're ankle-deep in ash. For me, that moment came in the middle of a humid July night, in the heart of Pine Bluff, Arkansas. That's where everything I thought I knew about love, loyalty, and friendship unraveled like a loose thread pulled too far. I never thought I'd be the one telling a story like this. I've listened to others share their tales of betrayal, half in disbelief, half in pity, never imagining I'd live something even more gutting. But here I am. Let me take you back to the beginning. I met Riley in the most unexpected way, at a feed store, of all places. She was arguing with the clerk about the price of fencing wire. I was behind her in line, overheard the conversation, and stepped in to help. I knew the owner, vouched for her, and we got the price reduced. She smiled at me like I'd done something heroic, and from that moment, I was hooked. That smile became the center of my world. Riley moved in with me just 6 months after we started dating. It felt fast, sure, but we were in sync. We liked the same music, cooked the same weird food combinations, and wanted the same dream, a quiet life, a piece of land, maybe some goats and a few chickens. A slow, steady life built on love and soil. That dream carried us through everything. Then there was Evan. Evan and I had been friends since before I knew how to spell the word friend. We grew up 2 houses apart, practically raised by each other's parents. He was there when I broke my arm in the 6th grade, when my dog died in high school, when I got rejected from my first job interview. We'd lived 1,000 little lifetimes together. It wasn't just friendship, it was blood. Chosen family. He had a key to my house because that's just how we were. He helped fix the leaky pipe under the kitchen sink, installed my storm door, and left his tools in my garage for when he'd swing by to help. He was the kind of guy who could disappear for weeks but show up when you needed him most. Maybe that's what made everything so much worse. There was no build-up. No warning signs I could catch in time. No whispered hints or suspicious texts. If anything, the 3 of us got along too well. We'd drink on the back porch, laugh about the dumb stuff we did in our teens, talk about where we'd all be in 10 years. It never felt like a triangle. Just a trio of people who knew each other down to the bone. Riley and I had started talking about moving to Tennessee. She found a property just outside of Johnson City, with a red barn, 2 acres of land, and a stream running through the back. We had plans. Real ones. I was even planning to propose. I'd bought a ring and everything, hidden in a tin box under the floorboards of my shed. I thought I was being clever. Romantic. And then came the night that tore it all down. My cousin had just gotten engaged, and we were all invited to a family celebration at a lake house about an hour out of town. Evan came with us, naturally. My mom practically considers him her second son. We all piled into one car, Riley in the passenger seat, Evan behind me, and drove out into the humid Arkansas twilight, singing along to the radio, laughing about old memories. I never noticed anything. Not a glance too long, not a touch too soft. Nothing. The lake house buzzed with life. String lights hung across the porch. Kids ran around with sparklers. Coolers overflowed with beer and soda. Someone brought a speaker and played country music too loud. It was a perfect Southern gathering. We drank. Not too much, but enough. Enough to blur the edges of judgment, I guess. I lost track of Riley at one point, then Evan. Didn't think much of it. I was catching up with my uncle about tractors. That's how normal the night felt. The next morning, Riley told me. No build-up. Just a pale face and trembling hands. She said they kissed. Just kissed, nothing more. She said they were drunk, it didn't mean anything, it was a mistake. She told me in a tone that begged for forgiveness and held none for herself. But I didn't need her to tell me. Because I had seen it. You see, I'm a bit of a tech geek. Ever since someone broke into my garage last winter, I installed discrete security cameras around the house. I never thought I'd use them for something like this. But something in Riley's tone, it didn't sit right with me. Something too rehearsed, too sanitized. That night, when she fell asleep curled on the far side of the bed like a ghost of herself, I reviewed the footage. I didn't want to. I shouldn't have. But I did. And what I saw tore me apart. Riley walked Evan into the house just past midnight. I could see them clearly on the side porch camera. She was laughing, too close to him. Her hand brushed his chest. He didn't pull away. In the kitchen, she poured them both a drink. He took his shirt off. That was the first punch to the gut. Then the kiss. It wasn't quick. It wasn't impulsive. It was deliberate. Her hand on the back of his neck, his hand on her hip. She pulled him closer. He didn't resist. And then she pulled back, clearly saying something. He stood there, shirtless, breathing hard. She touched his face. Then, finally, she walked away. Alone. That was the extent of it. At least, that's all the camera caught. But in that 2-minute clip, something inside me snapped. The next morning, I packed her things. Every sock, every sweater, every keepsake. I didn't scream. I didn't throw anything. I just loaded her car, placed the keys in her hand, and told her to leave. Evan got the same treatment. I left his tools on the porch, texted him never to come back. He didn't reply. But the worst part wasn't the betrayal. It wasn't the footage. It wasn't even her face as she drove away. It was the silence that came afterward. That unbearable quiet when you realized the life you were building was based on something so fragile, it shattered the moment you stopped watching. The hardest part wasn't letting her go, it was trying to understand why I still missed her. Why I still woke up thinking about her. Why I still saw Evan in every corner of my home. People say a kiss isn't the end of the world. That it's forgivable. That mistakes happen. But to me, it wasn't about the kiss. It was about the space they shared in that moment, space that once belonged to me. It was about choice. Because betrayal doesn't happen by accident. It's a door you walk through, knowing full well it may never close again. Weeks passed. I stopped checking her social media. Deleted Evan's number. Focused on work. Fixed up the barn like I'd always planned. But every time I crossed the property line, I saw ghosts. Every time the wind rattled the shutters, I thought I heard her laugh. And then, one night, I got a call from Riley's sister. She didn't call to apologize. She didn't call to explain. She called to tell me that Riley had left town. Not for Tennessee. For Florida. With Evan. They were moving in together. She said Riley felt ashamed to tell me, but she thought I deserved to know. That was the final nail. The confirmation I didn't know I still needed. Because what I saw that night on the footage wasn't a mistake. It was the beginning of something. The start of a life they were already building behind my back. I couldn't sleep for days. But slowly, painfully, I started to let go. Not just of Riley. Or Evan. But of the version of me that was blind to what was happening right in front of him. The guy who thought loyalty was enough. That love could keep someone from making a choice. Now I know better. Trust is not something you give away. It's something you build, and just as easily, something that can be burned to ash. I still walk past that tin box in my shed sometimes, the one with the engagement ring. I haven't thrown it away yet. Maybe I'm waiting for someone who deserves it. Maybe I just need the reminder. That no matter how carefully you build your world, people can still choose to destroy it. But I can rebuild. I am rebuilding. Because in the end, the worst betrayal didn't come from losing Riley. It came from losing the version of me who thought I was safe.
You did the right thing. A kiss is still betrayal, especially with your best friend. They both crossed the line. Stay strong.
Honestly, they were drunk and she stopped it before it went further. Maybe it was a stupid mistake, but worth a real talk before cutting her off completely.
Your friend was never a friend. The second he got comfortable in your house without you, he was plotting. Good riddance to both.